Hi guys, so today I wanted to show you one of these debris gasifiers. I've had this for a really long time, and actually the Silver Scout Silver Fire does have one or two newer ones of these available, newer versions. I like the setup on this, but I'll tell you, I have a hard time getting the fires lit because of the directions that come with it. So let's put it together and I'll show you what I mean. It comes in several pieces. Here's the top with a pot holder. The newer version has 5 points of contact, and they don't move. They're stationary, and that just allows for a more stable pot. This section right here is a windbreak, and then this middle section has two parts. It's got this bottom part, which is where you put the wood all in this section here. This pops up to allow air to come inside, come up. Gas comes between, this is a double-walled chamber, between these two walls, and will reburn in here. So you get the wood burning, and you get the gasifier effect, which should increase water temperature or whatever you're cooking quickly. Because if you set this down, this falls in, you put the wind protector over there. Actually, I'm going to put it down so the wind is more by the base. And you set this in there, so this part sits on top, allowing the other part to extend. And then you've got this on top. The directions say to take small pieces of wood and fill them up as full as you can get them. So I usually tilt it on the side, and I break pieces of wood down to size. Smaller than this, bigger than this, all different sizes. And I just continue to fill until it's totally filled up. Like that. And then you're supposed to be able to light the top on fire, but that does not always work for me. So this time I'm going to put some birch bark and a couple other highly flammable things in the very bottom. Put the sticks in like they say, put more highly flammable things on top. We'll light it, and then we'll check out how long it takes water to boil, because that's like the gold standard. So stay tuned while I fill her up. So you can see I've got birch bark down in there, I've got some grasses and a couple leaves, and now we'll go ahead and add the sticks in. So as I'm filling this up, the thought occurs to me that perhaps I'm failing when I do this, because I tend to follow directions pretty exactly. So if the directions read fill up, that means, in my mind, I'm filling it up. And I'm wondering if I'm not leaving enough air space, even though there's air underneath of it, but maybe I'm just filling it too full. So I will go until I feel like it's mostly full, and then I'm going to stop, and then we'll try to light it from there. Even though it's got air holes in the bottom, and the double chamber should allow for some airflow before it starts gasifying, I'm just thinking that's maybe the mistake I've made, because I've seen other YouTubers use this and nobody seems to have the problem I'm having, or they're editing it out. I'm not sure which. So I mean, that's pretty full, right? But I'm going to continue to go, because in my mind there's still a lot of extra room in there. So I'm going to keep going, okay? But I won't go all the way. So hold on. Alright guys, now we're over at the trusty fire pit. So I filled it up, not as much as I normally would. You can see there's still lots of room in there. I could be shoving more sticks and such in, but Like I said before, maybe this is the reason why it's not working so great for me. So I've got some dried grasses in here, birch bark, leaves, and some puffy flower material. I have this on top as well as on the very bottom, and then sticks all in between. So I'm going to light her up, and let's see if she burns. Well, she'll burn. See if she takes off burning. Actually, it looks like it might be working. Often by this time, anything that's wood is not quite catching. And I live in an area where I have a lot of wood. I'm next door to a small forest or copse of trees, and I have wood available all the time. So I think it might actually make it. So what I'll do now is let it burn, and I'm going to wait for the top level. Let's see if I can show you. Some of those sticks are sticking above the top level of the device itself. I'd like those to go down a little bit so I can put the pot holder on top, and then take our water. And I've got a cup of water in there. I've marked the side where the water line is. And then we'll start our trusty timer and see how long it takes for it to come to a boil. But you don't need to sit here and watch this burn for several minutes, so let's pause it, and through the magic of YouTube, when you come back, you'll see water on to boil. Hold on. I wanted you guys to see the gasification effect too. You know those holes that are at the top of the double-walled chamber? You can see how they seem to be glowing. That's the wood gas or gasification. That's the actual process working. So anytime you see like a stream of flame coming out of the side, even if you can't see the hole, that's what's happening. Ooh, I better pull back. That's what's happening. So the stove is definitely working as designed. I think this is a little better angle for you to see it now that I've got the pot holder on top. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so now we're going to start the clock, the timer. Put the water on to boil. And here, I'm sorry, I've had to change the angle a little bit because the wind is coming from a direction it doesn't usually blow from on my home instead. So we're going to put this on there and see how long it takes to bring to a boil. So I'm wrestling with this thing, but at about 3 minutes and 50 seconds is when it came to this kind of a boil. When I took the lid off, it almost fell over, so I had to wrestle with it for a few minutes or a few seconds before I could get the lid off and get it rebalanced, which is exactly why they've redone this 3-point design underneath here. So there you have it. About 3 minutes, 49-50 seconds is how long it took to come to a boil, a little rolling boil there. And that is about a full minute faster than my worst rocket stove made on YouTube video. But overall, I think it's a nice little device. I think the used ones are hard to find anymore, but the new ones are available from their webpage directly and on Amazon and, you know, the usual places. I'll post the cost of it in the description down low. I think it's about 25 bucks or 50 bucks. I can't remember, but I'll figure it out and post it down below for you. So let me know if you have any questions about the Silverfire. And oh, one other thing I wanted to say is that this device does work. It adheres to the outline if you're camping and they say you can't have an open fire, but you can have a fire in a pan or other safety device. So if you're camping and there's no outdoor burning allowed, but you can burn in a burn pan or fireplace, those kinds of things, this does adhere to those rules, so you can still burn in this device. And that's pretty cool because it's small, it's portable, you can cook on it, but then you can also have a little fire, you know, just keep throwing some sticks in there and have a little glow. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions. See ya. Bye.